Hello human beings, welcome back to TheMangaSloth. This month had some sick reads, sick manga pickups, and I'm gonna talk about a couple of them. Not your everyday run-of-the-mill manga here. I try to pick things that are a little different. Let's get into it. Number uno is After the Rain. It is a completed series at 5 volumes, and they are these chunkier volumes here. This series was completed by my wife recently, and she did enjoy the series. It's about a 17-year-old high school girl, Akira Tachibana. That is her name. She works part-time at a family restaurant, and she's starting to fall in love with the 45-year-old manager, Kondo Masami. So as you see there, 17-year-old girl falling in love with a 45-year-old man. Not super cool, but it's more of a coming-of-age story than an actual true romance. The manga focuses on how the manager helps Akira after she has fallen into a depression following an injury while participating in her favorite sport, which is track. That gives a different dynamic than what you're initially thinking. The romance influences you as the reader, more along the lines of reminiscing of when you first fell in love with someone in your teenage years. It's the emotional aspect of it is what you can connect with moreover, and it gives you an appreciation for how different people can have a great influence upon you and not give up on something you love. So this was definitely good. I would say worth a read. 5 chunky volumes like we said, and that is it. You get a whole complete story that you can enjoy, and it won't run on forever and break the bank. Next up, we are talking about Agent. For a second, Agent completed recently at volume 17, and I just want to say it was a surprise and very good from beginning to end. While not perfect, it's a series that I will keep, I will enjoy, and I will want to spread the love of Agent to all of you. Agent follows a kid named Ki Nagai, if I'm saying that right, probably not. He's a high school student. He was killed in a traffic accident, and he came back to life. When he did, he realized he was a demi-human. So every demi-human has a ghost type figure that they can summon, that they can use, that they can make do things for them, and sometimes you can't control them, and you can use them to kill and hurt and hunt down other people or other things like that. Only other demi-humans can see other agents, which are what these ghosts are called. The story gets stronger and stronger in my opinion as the volumes go on. The beginning is a little shaky, has some bumps. They didn't bug me, but I've seen them bug other people. One reason that I found out, which is very interesting about Agent, is that it had a different writer in the beginning. And maybe one of the reasons for that is, and this is extremely interesting, is that the Agent had a separate artist and writer, and the writer for Agent wrote the first 5 chapters, and then he quit or left, or something happened to him, and that was it. The artist, who was just drawing Agent, took over the whole series. While I'm assuming he got notes and things from the other person where he wasn't just left hanging, that can be extremely difficult to completely know the emotion and where you want to go with a series when you're starting almost over, doing a job that you weren't planned to do. But he did a wonderful job. The artwork is on point, the story was great, and I will say it and say it and say it again, the antagonist in Agent is one of, if not the best antagonist I have read ever. Great series, make sure you check out Agent. It's great. Okay, we are talking about Takane and Hana right now. We are 3 for 3 with series that just completed, and that is why we are talking about them. This is one that is very special to my wife. She really likes this series, and I know many of you out there like it also. And if you haven't heard of it, or you've been seeing it, eyeballing it, listen to me, because you're gonna want to hear this because you're going to want to read this. Takane and Hana. If you are a fan of comedy and shoujo, and you don't mind a little age gap between the main characters, I'm going to really advocate for you to read this series. The story centers around 16-year-old Hana as she's forced to sit in on a potential marriage meeting in place of her older sister who wanted nothing to do with it. The marriage meeting partner is revealed to be the 26-year-old Takane, if I'm pronouncing all these names correctly. He is a very rich businessman and grandson of the Scifier Corporation. So the dude's got contacts, the dude's got a business, the dude's got money, but things don't go well during the marriage meeting, to the point Hana throws a wig in Takane's face and storms off, and that's when it starts the hilarious ego trip of Takane needing to prove that he's clearly the best person in the world and that anyone would want to be with him. Every single volume of the series is wonderful and it should make you laugh. The expressions on the characters are hilarious and the artist does a great job with that. But where the series truly shines is how Hana and Takane are constantly pushing each other's buttons. The volumes are gorgeous and there's different confetti on each volume cover, which is pretty cool. So make sure you check out the series and everything else this mangaka does, because they are good at what they do. Next up, I'm talking about Legend of Dororo and Amaru, if I'm saying that right. Now, not everything that I bring out is heat. This one stunk. I didn't like this series so far. I read volume 1 and I just was not feeling it. I wanted to just put it down halfway through, but I just powered through it. Maybe a little bias slipped in because of that, but honestly, I just wasn't feeling it. The art is good. I have no complaints there. While drawn very well, some of the battles just seemed not really choreographed. But what I really couldn't get into is the story. The story was just bland feeling, and I felt like it shouldn't feel that way. It was about a swordsman who has 2 swords in his arms. His arms are swords. That is cool. And he travels around and he's hunting demons. And he meets this kid, Dororo, and this kid is like a thief and an orphan and starts like tagging along with him like almost out of nowhere, and the kid's kind of annoying. I know this is volume 1 and there's plenty of time that they'll have to flesh out the story and characters and backstories and stuff, but this first volume just really provided me with nothing except for some nice looking art. Now people, that doesn't mean MangaSloth is correct about this. This could be the greatest thing ever. I just am not feeling it. I'm not liking it too much. Give it a try if you want, but I warned you if you don't like it. But if you don't like it, I warned you. Next up, I told you I was gonna talk about it. A School Frozen in Time. This is volume 4, the final volume. That is right. There is 4 volumes of this and it is complete. So it's a nice little series to grab and doesn't break the bank. A School Frozen in Time has the same artist for Your Lie April, which a lot of people know, and the author of it is the writer of Anime Supremacy. And I would classify this as a psychological horror story. Just looking at the covers, you wouldn't think that, but it is. And it focuses on 8 high school classmates who are trapped inside of their school on a winter day. This event occurs exactly 3 months after a tragic event which a fellow classmate of theirs took their life by jumping from the school's roof, but they all cannot remember who that person was on that sad day. The story has a way of getting your attention. It is very attention grabbing and it is not easy to predict what will happen next, which is one of the things my wife appreciated the most out of this. This series had her questioning who the person was who jumped from the roof, and how would this group of friends be able to escape this disturbing world that they're in. I wouldn't advise reading this story if you have any struggles with reading about suicide, as that theme is central to this series. But if you enjoy thrillers, then this would be a great short series to add to your collection. And that is that for Skull Frozen in Time. It's done, it's over, it's good. Read it, do it now. If you enjoyed my content, please click down below, like, comment, subscribe, come to my Discord. We got a lot of stuff going on. I love hearing from you all. I will see you all next time.